Is that the biggest pay? I know you're the biggest paid guy, but is that the biggest attraction? If Floyd Mayweather says, I'll fight anybody, what would be the biggest shit in the world?
Well, I'm a businessman now. You know, I already proved years and years ago that I was the best, period. I'm talking about pound to pound. I already proved all that. So at my age now, I'm a businessman. So I'm not going to be out there competing and fighting guys that only got a small city behind them. Like, you know, you got a lot of American fighters good, but they got little cities behind them. I'm going to fight guys that got a whole country behind them. So I know I can demand and get what I want to get.
So that's Pacquiao?
He don't, listen, he don't, I made more with McGregor.
Let me ask you a question.
Listen,
Pacquiao
guess what? I don't,
everybody, hold up.
hold up. Once again, my faculties and everything that I got comes first. We just talked about your health is your wealth.
Right.
You know, and that's why I got this towel on. I was working out today. Now, Pacquiao fight because he have to.
I know that.
Once again, I fight if I want to. So there's a difference.
The question is, let me go back to this because it's real important. And I'm only going to big you up with this. I've always wondered, and everybody always said, why Floyd ain't fight Pacquiao at his prime, why they wasn't in both their prime. I've always heard a rumor that you just didn't want to get no money. You didn't want to give no money to Bob and Aaron. I heard he tried to take advantage of you allegedly when you was younger, and
yes,
you worked your way out that contract, and then you became your own boss from there on and wound up becoming the billionaire that we know. Could you elaborate? Was that the main reason why you didn't fight Pacquiao at your prime at the same time?
Well, we keep on saying at our prime. I'm older than Pacquiao by 2 years. So we keep on saying in your prime. So when I beat Pacquiao, they say he went in his prime. I'm older than you. And then when I fought Oscar De La Hoya, they said about me and Pacquiao, me and Oscar, we both was in our 30s. So they keep on, like, no matter what happens in this, it's never good enough for anyone.
I get it.
So as long as I'm happy, that's what's important. And what happened with the fight was this. Remember, I was a pioneer of random blood in urine testing for all athletes so we all can be on an even playing field.
That's right.
I feel like everybody should be on an even playing field. We all should be equal.
That's right.
No matter, and that's the same thing that our people is fighting for right now. Meaning that we just want to be treated like everybody else.
Those are the words of Floyd Mayweather once again, and he surprises me with a statement he made about the comparison of Conor McGregor and and Manny Pacquiao. He said that Floyd made more with McGregor than Pacquiao. And I got to see some numbers. I got to counterpunch because I'm not sure about that. I mean, he was there. He was the one that racked in the money, not me. But I feel that he grossed more with Pacquiao. Pacquiao, I think that fight was worth 4.6 pay-per-view buys, and I think McGregor was 4.4. Or was it 4.4 for Pacquiao and 4.2 for McGregor? I know Pacquiao grossed more money in pay-per-view. Now, Floyd might have made more, but then this is what it was. You know, also with Pacquiao, he said, Pacquiao does have a country behind him. He has the Philippines. They love him over there. But he says Pacquiao has to fight because he has to. Floyd fights because he wants to. But then I think, and I feel he didn't answer the question because it's like, okay, well, who would he really fight? Because there's no one else left. You fought McGregor because McGregor was the top MMA guy, and you fought Pacquiao because he was that other guy that everybody thought could beat you and was just as popular as you. Of course, Floyd didn't see it that way, but it is what it is, right? So he says Pacquiao has to fight. You know, and then that just opens a whole can of worms, because you're looking at Pacquiao and you see the things that he's doing. He's fought a lot since that Floyd fight. How many fights have he fought? He's fought about 5 or 6 fights since then. He's fought a lot of fights, man. You know, you got Jeff Horn, Matisse, Broner, Thurman, Jesse Vargas. You know that. You know, I know that's 5, and they were all after the Floyd fight. And for the record, Floyd was there at the Jesse Vargas fight and the Keith Thurman fight. Just so you guys know. So he was, you know, those fights. Floyd was there, so he was quite interested. And I think between Floyd and Manny, I think what kills Floyd is the fact that when you mention Floyd's name, you're gonna always have Manny as comparison. And I know what it is about Floyd to give you guys an understanding about Floyd. Floyd ego's way up here. The way he looks at himself as a talent, as a businessman, he looks at himself up here, and everyone else is down here. You know what I mean? And on a much smaller platform. But when you hear popular conversation or a random conversation, you always see Pacquiao here and Floyd here. And it's like, that kills Floyd, because Floyd doesn't like to be compared to anyone, okay? Because the ego, the confidence, the cockiness, those things he hates to be compared to any fighter. But I think Counterpunch and Floyd, he has to understand something. He would have never made the money that he would have made. Oscar, Canelo, Pacquiao, McGregor. He needed those fighters. So I think Floyd has come a long way. Make no doubt about it. You know, the cockiness, the arrogance. You know, people used to hate Floyd. You know what I mean? I was a fan of Pretty Boy more than money, but when he gets to the point and understands that he needed those fighters that I mentioned, he needed them to generate that type of revenue, and he didn't do it by himself, and people just did not come to see him, okay? Because you're only good, and people are only going to watch that fight, okay? And going to be interested in that fight depending on your competition. So you're only good as your competition, you know? So he fought De La Hoya to a split decision. We have to remember that, and he didn't give Oscar another shot. Okay, so Oscar been bitter ever since, because he didn't get that opportunity and got annihilated at a catch weight by Pacquiao the year after. So he's gonna be that way. But he needed all those fighters. So what kills me about Floyd is Floyd pretends like everyone came to see me. I'm the person they came to see. I'm the guy that grossed more. No, you did that with other people. You did that with the people you're fighting. Counterpunch. You didn't do that by yourself. You didn't do that with Berto. Okay? You didn't do that shit with Mike Donna. You didn't break numbers like that. You broke numbers with fighters that the fans wanted to see you fight. Okay, so we have to understand that. But anyway, that's Floyd sounding off on these guys, Pacquiao in particular, because, you know, of course, he hates to be compared to Pacquiao. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Floyd Mayweather's comments. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys can Counterpunch. Peace.